Hello and welcome to government class. In today's government class, we'll be looking at indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. I'll be looking at the reasons for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. The indirect rule system succeeded in the north, it met with partial success in the west, and it failed totally in Eastern Nigeria. It was a total failure in Eastern Nigeria. Why was it a total failure in Eastern Nigeria? This was because the Easterners never had monarchs, and because they did not have monarchs, the British officials had to appoint warrant chiefs for them, for the people of the Eastern Nigeria. And the warrant chiefs that were appointed by Lord Lugard were rejected by the people. So this was one of the reasons that led to the major, in fact, this is the major reason for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. Also, the system of taxation that was put in place in order to raise funds to sustain indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria was one of the reasons for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. The people of Eastern Nigeria, they were not used to paying taxes. They did not have any system of taxation whatsoever in place. They did not have monarchs. Their system of governance was highly, the powers was highly decentralized in different institutions. So indirect rule could not thrive there because they did not have a monarchical system of government in place, and they did not have a system of taxation in place. Let's look more into the reasons for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. The first major reason for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria is the absence of traditional rulers. They did not have traditional rulers in Eastern Nigeria. They did not have kings. They did not have emirs. They did not have any institution whatsoever like that. So power was decentralized between the various institutions in place. So that was one of the reasons that led to the major failure of indirect rule. So they could not say, okay, this is the person that the British official can talk to that would extend the policies of the British officials to the people. They had no such person in place. So it was one of the reasons that led to the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. The appointment of warrant chiefs in Eastern Nigeria. In Eastern Nigeria, they did not have warrant chiefs before. Warrant chiefs was not part of their pre-colonial political was not an institution in their pre-colonial political system of administration. So it led to the failure of the system in Eastern Nigeria. Because the people were not used to having warrant chiefs before, it led to the failure. Also, the people that Lord Lugard appointed as warrant chiefs for those for the people of the Eastern people, they were not people the Eastern people liked. They were not people that they liked. So the rule failed. The indirect rule system failed totally in Eastern Nigeria. Also, the Igbo's highly decentralized system of administration was one of the reasons for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. These people were not used to saying yes sir to only one person. They thought about it. Every decision they reached in the Igbo pre-colonial political system of administration was reached through consensus. So nobody took decisions on their own. Nobody could tell people to do whatsoever the person felt was good for the people. Every decision these people made was made through consensus. Everybody had a say. Everybody agreed that, okay, this is the best way forward. So because the people were not used to saying yes sir, yes ma, yes sir to a particular person or body, led to the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. Another reason for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria is education. The people of the North were educated. They knew their rights, and they knew that whatever is not them, and they knew how to fight for their rights. So because they knew their rights, it put them in a position to address whatever was wrong or with the system of indirect rule. Also, Christianity was the major religion in Eastern Nigeria, and Christianity was not a totally submissive religion as Islam. So that was one of the reasons that led to the failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. Also, we have absence of the system of taxation, and this was a major reason for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. The fact that the people were not used to paying taxes before. There was no major system of taxation in place for the people of Eastern Nigeria before, and now you are suddenly bringing what is not to them, that they should start paying taxes, something they've not paid even before you came. So it was like it was foreign to them, it was alien to them, and they fought against it. And it was this system of taxation that led to the introduction of the system of taxation in Eastern Nigeria, was what led to the famous Aba Women Riot of 1929. And with this, we've come to the end of the class. In the course of this class, we looked at indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria and the reasons for the total failure of indirect rule in Eastern Nigeria. In the next class, we'll be looking at reasons why the educated elites opposed the system of indirect rule in Southern Nigeria. See you at the next class.